Wherever you're at, close your eyes for a moment. As you close your eyes, soften back into yourself. Soften your skin. The muscles of your face. Even as your eyes are closed, can you soften your hold on vision? Let your brain soften back towards the back of your skull. Allow your heart to soften back into a deeper place. Now breathe in a way that delights you. Take a deeply felt breath. And take one more deeply felt breath. And as you let your brain stay back into a deeper, more ancient place inside you, let your vision stay soft. So instead of piercing this world with your eyes, when you let your eyelids open, let the world in front of you be allowed in, be washed in. The way that the shore doesn't reach for the waves, but the waves come. Now when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Just a different feeling. And we think these things are mundane, things like movement and breath and touch. But they are spell casting, they're magic weaving. They're ways to take something physical and transmute and shift it into things like emotion and thought and dreams. Do you know the story about baby Krishna? No? Cool. It's better that you don't, that way I can tell it. So Krishna, if you don't know who Krishna is one of the big time deities in yoga, in the yoga tradition. And normally Krishna, you see him as this, different ways, but one of them is this kind of older, teenage, really good looking, well-shaped blue kid playing the flute out in the fields where the gopis, the shepherd girls, are going crazy for his beauty. The other one is, if you know the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the one that's on the chariot talking to Arjuna. But this is a story, this is a myth about Krishna as a baby. So Krishna as a baby was given over to a human mother, the story goes. He was given over to a human mother, and the human mother was unaware of who Krishna really was. All she saw was this little baby. And like any good parent, she was able to overlook a lot. He was blue, but she never questioned his blueness. It was just her baby. That's all she saw. And as Krishna became that age, that 2 or 3-year-old age where kids tend to be hard-headed and stubborn, and they're exploring their world in a much stronger way, where it can be difficult for a parent. And on this one day, Krishna's mom was in the house, in the kitchen, cleaning and preparing food. And she was looking out through this window at baby Krishna playing out in the fields. And she was keeping an eye on him to make sure he was safe. And she looks out and she sees Krishna sitting in this big mud cake pile. And she's looking at Krishna, he's all messy. And all of a sudden she sees Krishna bend over, grab a big pile of mud, make it into a little biscuit with his hands, and stick it in his mouth. And mom is mortified. Mom screams out the window, "Krishna, spit that out right now." And Krishna sees his mom. Okay. He spits it out. Mom says, "Don't do that. Don't do that." So mom keeps cleaning. She keeps making dinner. And she looks out again, and this time Krishna turns around, gives his back to his mom, and mom sees him bend over again, grab. She screams, "Krishna!" And Krishna turns around. It's like, "Krishna, spit that out." Krishna, annoyed, obeys, spits it out. So now Krishna moves over a little bit because there's a bush. But kids, like, have you ever played peekaboo with a kid? They don't quite get the idea. They think if they can't see you, you can't see them. Krishna had the same thought. So he hides behind this really flimsy bush so mom can still see. So he thinks he's being all sneaky, and he bends over. And again, he grabs mud. Sticks in his mouth. Mom immediately, now she's getting more and more frustrated. She screams, "Krishna!" And Krishna turns around. Face covered in mud. "Krishna, did you eat mud?" "Krishna, spit that out." Mom leaves the food, leaves the kitchen, comes out to her little baby boy. Say, "Krishna, drop that right now." Krishna refuses. So she picks up Krishna, holds him lovingly in her arms, says, "Krishna, open your mouth." "Krishna, open your mouth." "Krishna, I'm not going to tell you again, open your mouth." And finally Krishna looks at her, and he opens his mouth. And when she looks inside, she doesn't see mud. What she sees is the entire universe. All galaxies, all stars, all worlds, all lives. Her past life. She sees the fullness of who her baby boy is. She sees the completeness of what she is in all its terrible grandeur. And she starts to shake and sob and weep. The full vision of what she is too much. She can't stand it. She can't take it. She knows herself to be this small little thing, and she's faced with the truth of the mirror of what she really is. And Krishna sees his mom, and he sees her shaking and weeping and trying to turn away from this overwhelming vision. And Krishna takes compassion with her, takes mercy on her. And he reaches out his little hand, his little blue hand, and he touches her on the forehead between her eyes. And immediately, the vision ceases. The memory fades. And when mom opens her eyes again, she's forgotten what she's seen. And all she sees in front of her again is her baby boy. What she sees of herself is who she always thought that she was. This image that's been so familiar to her. What you are is more than you've been told. More than your name. More than your memories. More than the stories. To be faced with that kind of beauty is more ecstasy than pleasure. And there's a difference between ecstasy and pleasure. Pleasure we can take a good amount of pleasure. Ecstasy is the thing that you don't know if you can stand another minute of being in the presence of something so intense. If you can see yourself in that way, and if you can stand it, you will absolutely fall in love. The question is, will you look away? Will you look away? And don't worry, we always get more than one invitation. Krishna doesn't stop. We don't stop looking. The invitations to magic will keep coming, waiting for you to say yes, waiting for you to stand a little more of the beauty that you are. Take a deep inhale and a soft exhale. I'm going to ask you to do a few weird things, a few strange things. Don't worry too much. Allow this to be an exploration of something instead of these weird ideas of right and wrong. It's like walking through a forest and looking at two trees and trying to figure out which is the right tree and which is the wrong tree. In that context, right and wrong don't make sense. Pretty sure it was Rumi that said that beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I will meet you there. And that's the field that we'll meet, beyond right and wrong. So sit comfortably, at least somewhere that you can see me. If you're laying, that's cool. Somewhere that you can see me. Bring your right fingers up to your left collarbone, the space right above your left collarbone. And feather light at first, just really soft fingertips. Begin to almost tickle the skin right above your left collarbone. Very soft. Now go in a little deeper. Rub in a little bit deeper. There's sensitive stuff there, so not so much that it hurts, but enough that it feels interesting. You could even lift your left shoulder up a bit. If you lift your left shoulder up a bit, it'll soften the space. You can go down there a little deeper. Notice places that are sore or full of sensation. Now with your right hand, tap or slap that same space 10 times. Then rest your hand for a moment. Allow the echoes of your touch to drift through the intelligence of your body. Feel them as they go and wander in. Now bring your left hand to your right collarbone just above it. Soft, just tickling the skin at first. And then as if you were nuzzling into living sand, let your fingers nuzzle in a little deeper into that space. Do little rolls of your right shoulder, inviting your hand, your fingers in more. Noticing the areas that are full of sensation. Now again, like you did on the other side, 10 times, slap or hit that spot. And again, pause for a moment. Allow your awareness and your attention to drift deeper into you on the waves of those feelings. Now bring your fingers to the space. You can do both sides at the same time now. So the space, here's the jawline. So it's the space behind the jawline when it gets close to your left earlobe, here. This space right in front of this big, thick muscle on the side of your neck. Soft at first, and let your fingers now begin to nuzzle in to that space. Notice what you feel there. It might be sore there. It's okay. Go a little lower if it feels more interesting along the front of that muscle. Keep breathing as you're doing this. And now with both hands, the same idea. 10 times, I'm not going to do it because the microphone, but 10 times slap or hit on those same spots. And once you're finished, rest your hands. And again, let the echoes of your touch ripple outwards. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what you're feeling. Now bring your fingertips, so heavy fingers, they're not stiff fingers, heavy fingers, and bring them up to your face. And begin to tap. Soft fingers, so the movement is not coming from just the fingers pressing, but this drumming of the wrists. Move along your cheeks, your cheekbones, the bridge of your nose, your temples, your forehead, sides of your head, the top of your skull, the back of your head. Close your eyes if that feels more interesting to you, but keep tapping. Linger in the places that are the most interesting. Let your tapping be as heavy as feels good. Just another few seconds. Now slow your hands down. Keep your eyes closed, rest your hands. Again, drift deeper into yourself on the waves of those feelings. Feel the world inside you expanding. And into this place, take a deeply felt breath. And a soft exhale. And again, a deeply felt breath. And an exhale. One more time, deeply felt breath. And exhale. Stay soft again as you open your eyes. Keep some part of you deep in that place, deep in that more ancient you. If you're laying for this, sit up comfortably for a moment. Bring your fingertips out in front of you. Walk your hips back. So you're tipping forward. Rest the weight of your body on your fingertips. Now let your belly be soft. So your belly's resting on your thighs, so nothing is squeezing, so you don't need to hold yourself together. There's an intelligence inside you that's way beyond your holding. Now as you breathe for a moment, let your belly move with your breath. But now lift your eyes, lift your heart. The belly is soft, your eyes are looking forward, your heart is lifted, so you can come up a little higher up. So you're looking forward. Good. And now keep some sense of that tip and bring your hands to your belly. And for a moment, breathe into your hands so your belly feels like it's expanding into your fingers. Allow this place that houses this living intelligence, be free. And now without squeezing, without closing down the front of your body, keeping your belly free and long, work your fingertips, crawl your fingertips down along your belly so your fingertips are on your low belly, right above your inner thighs. Let your belly kind of pour onto your fingers for a moment. Keep breathing into your belly. And again, without squeezing your belly, allow that place where your fingers are, the very low belly, to go in and up a little bit. So you're lifting this whole balloon up away from your thighs, just by this inhaling this balloon up. And even as you exhale, can you keep that feeling of this living balloon inside you, lifting up away from your thighs? You can even wiggle a little bit, attempting to lift your belly higher. Imagine that this balloon is still big, but now it's being lifted inside your rib cage, so it supports your heart underneath. So this living balloon lifts your heart up higher. Good. Now keep that feeling. Bring your arms out in front of you. Bring your legs out in front of you. Keep the lift of your belly. Keep breathing deep into your belly. Allow your belly to lift so it's supporting your heart from underneath. Soft goblin arms in front of you. Lean back a little bit until your feet float up away from the floor. And notice how the front of your body wants to close. Can you lift the belly, take a deep breath, and lift all of this life up into your heart? Soft fingers, soft wrists. As you keep lifting the belly, breathe deep into yourself so you get inflated up away from your hips. Lift your armpits up higher so your arms are floating on that breath. If you find a place where you're shaking like I am, that's the place to be. That's the place where something magical is happening inside. Good. Lift your belly. Lift your outer armpits. Keep your belly long. Take one more deep breath into your low belly. Cross your legs. Lean forward. Bring your hands to goblin heart. Tip your heart forward as you inhale. Push your arms forward and apart. Open your chest. Exhale, arms back. Two more like that. Lift the armpits. Inhale. Push arms forward and apart. Exhale back one more time. Lift your outer wings, your armpits, and let your wings open. Pull your heart through. Go ahead and tip forward. Come onto your hands and knees. As you come onto your hands and knees, imagine you have untrained baby hands. Baby hands don't squeeze and claw the ground and engage muscles. They're soft, so bring your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders so the weight is away from them. Soften your fingers. Let your index finger knuckle lift up away from the floor. And tip your weight more into the outer edge of your hand with soft elbows. slide your hips back. Imagine your sitting bones are going wider apart. Soft eyes, soft jaw. See if you can find the living balloon of your belly again. So the belly is soft and long. Inflate it and then lift it up away from the tops of your thighs so the living balloon of your belly is drawn inside beneath your heart. And keep the arms soft and now breathe deeply. So as you inhale, your breath lifts you away from the ground a little bit. And as you exhale, you soften down. Inhale, inflate yourself away from the ground. Exhale, soften. So as little as you can do with muscle, as much as you can do with breath. Inhale, inflate. Exhale, soften. Lift your eyes and your heart a little bit, but keep breathing. Inhale, inflate. Exhale, soften. One more. Inhale, inflate. Exhale, soften. Slide your hips back towards your heels just a little bit. Just a little bit. Lift your low belly away from your thighs without changing the bones. Keep the arms soft. And now as you inhale, use your breath like a sail. As you inflate, let your breath inflate you forward towards your hands. And as you exhale, tip your hips back towards your heels, slide back. Inhale, inflate up towards your hands. Exhale, your hips slide back. How soft can you be? Inhale, inflate forward. Exhale, soften back. Keep moving on your breath. Keep sailing your breath. Soft elbows, soft hands. Let your neck be soft at the end of this wave of your spine. This is the field beyond right and wrong. Let yourself explore. Bring your hands maybe a little further in front of you so you have more space to play and sail between hands and knees. Is there another direction that your breath wants to take you? Bring more weight to your outer left hand and right knee. So your right hand and left knee are very soft. They can almost be lifted off the ground. Keep the weight on your left hand and right knee. And keep moving from that place. Your left hand and right knee are where the weight is. What does that do to the play of your spine? Don't worry about understanding. If you misunderstand me, explore that. Take your weight over to your right hand and left knee. Let your right hand and left knee be the heavy places, the rooting places. And let your breath and spine continue to move. Continue to play. Now move in any direction you like. Bring the weight wherever you like. Allow the intelligence that's beneath your skin and below your thoughts be the place that moves you and guides you and leads you. Be willing to be surprised and fascinated. Let the delicious be your beacon. Let the feeling of something beautiful be your call. Slow your movement down. Stay soft until you come to a place where you can just feel, whether it's sitting, whether it's hips shifted back, any place that you'd like, a place that you can soften and feel. Allow yourself to feel the universe that you are. To really feel. To peek into Krishna's mouth. To see who you are beyond the stories. Take a deep inhale. A soft exhale. One more deeply felt breath. Now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I like that some of you came up as if you were ready and you saw that everybody else still had their eyes closed and you went right back down. Yeah. If it takes too much longer, I'll say even if you're not ready, open your eyes. So. And then come to a seat, come to a comfortable place. Does this place feel different than it did a few minutes ago? The answer, I wish everybody was mic'd. The answer was hell yeah. Oh yeah. Just took a few minutes. Just took a few minutes, a few breaths, a few movements. Was there anything in there that was really considered traditional asana? Not really. Not really. Things that teachers use for sure. But the magic is in you. Magic is in your breath, in your body, in your attention, your awareness. Serenade. You could even look around at the eyes that are sitting here with you. The eyes have shifted a little bit. Jasmine was speaking and everybody was like here and yeah, and like what's the thing and the music and all of that and everybody was here. A few minutes and everybody's eyes came to like this place. So to deal in movement and in breath and in touch without it being a metaphor, without it being symbolic, is in a very real way. Spell casting. It's magic weaving. It's alchemy. It's a way to shift not only shape, but states. And that's what we do. And there's a playground of shapes that we use to do that. But don't forget where the magic really is. Don't forget that all of these shapes are just ideas, not alive and uninteresting, until something else is brought to them, until you are brought to them. I know, I'm trippy too. I was moving and breathing with you, and I'm trying to pull a little bit of myself back. How's it going so far? I don't mean me pulling myself out. I mean, how's it going so far in this weekend? Enjoying it? Well, how many of you are already teachers? Yeah, just a couple? A few? Sort of? Yeah. I mean, we're all teachers. Qualified. We're all teachers. We're all already teachers. And here's the thing about, how do I say this without getting in trouble with everybody else? The ultimate teaching is not what you do. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's your exploration. It's your dive into the magic. Not how well you say the formulas or the techniques. Not how well you can regurgitate the stories. There's something in the old myths, the hero's journeys from the old days. If you don't know the hero's journey, I'm not going to go into it right now. But if you're in classes with me, you'll hear more about it. But it's these quests that we go on. And in the old quests, someone would leave, someone would be called out of their ordinary life, the ordinary world. And that could be by some kind of tragedy or some adventure or some help that was needed by the people we loved most. And there was a call out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary, the same way that Krishna's mom was called out of the ordinary into this vision of what reality is, of who she is, of who her baby is. And by the way, so you know, in all of these stories, the second part of this journey is almost always, if not always, a denial of the call. Just like Krishna's mom did. Like, you're called, it seems too much, I'm too little, you must have the wrong person, this is not me, I'm just little Peter or little Mary, and you don't understand. This is me, I'm just small and nothing. It's a very human thing to deny the glory of what we are in those moments. So there's almost always this denial of the call. But if the adventure is agreed to, if the hero goes on the quest, they face dragons and demons and adversities, and then they come back home. But when they come back home, there's always this question, and it was back, there was no, like, they weren't posting, right? Like a couple thousand years ago, Odyssey, or, you know, more than a couple thousand, they went on the Odyssey, they would go on these adventures around the world, and they would come back. They weren't posting, you know, on Instagram like their thing, or had pictures to show. It was just them coming back. It was just them coming back to their village, to the people that always knew them, to the people that knew them as little Mary or little Peter. And the question is, and they would come back with these grand stories of what has happened. It's like, how did we know? How do you know who's actually been on the adventure and who's just using a lot of filters on their pictures, or a lot of backgrounds on their pictures? And in the old myths, the way that this is known is because they would come back with something. They would come back with an elixir. something to show that they went on that adventure and now they're back from that quest. And in these old stories, sometimes they use it as these trophies or these physical things that are brought, but that's just a symbol. If you've ever been with someone that is speaking from the place that I'm talking about, they don't need to show you proof of where they've been. There's something different about them. There's something different about the place that they're speaking from. They've been forever changed by the adventure. They've been forever changed by their quest. And little Mary or little Peter can still be there. That personality can be there. But there's something to the ground of their being that radiates from them. To truly be a teacher is not about, are you saying it the right way? It's about sharing from that place. From that place that we all share. But when we go on these journeys, we go on them separately. But to be that thing. To be that thing. Your eyes are different now. There's an old Alan Watts thing that what he would do, he'd be sitting in front of all of these people and they'd be looking at him, he'd be trying to convince them the beauty of who they are. And they'd be looking back like very cynical. Alan Watts was one that at the beginning at least was used to talking to very conservative, straight edge society. You know, very high society. He was a priest. So very conservative, religious, high society, telling them that they are the divine play of the entire universe, that they are the thing that's been written about in the books, that what they're looking for is where they're looking from. And you could see them looking at him with this cynicism, like, I'm sorry, you must be mistaken. And every once in a while he would giggle and laugh and look into someone's eyes and be like, oh, Krishna, come off of it. Stop playing. Stop pretending. I see you. I see who's back there. I can see past the story, past the game, past your name, past the costumes you've put on. I see you. I see you. I see you. To really see yourself, you're going to fall in love. To really see yourself, you're going to fall in love. It can be no other way. If you haven't fallen in love completely, it's only because you haven't seen yet. There's no need to change anything about what you are. Just to become more sensitive in what you can see about who you are. That's all that's required. And that's a skill that can be played with, that can be cultivated, that we can play with together to reawaken our capacity to feel. Seems simple, no? It is. We complicate things. We complicate things. Got a few minutes left. So I didn't want to bore you with too much anatomy. But I did a little bit. Because to talk about anatomy is just the same thing. It's the most fascinating thing in the world that I am talking to right now in this room. Stars that were once in the sky that figured out how to shapeshift and time travel and morph into something that could speak and look back at itself and back at the place where everything that was in them came from, in wonder and in awe, towards an ecstatic understanding. So you're already talking stars. Everything that you are was birthed in the belly of a star. every bit, every molecule, every atom in you was at one time that. And as cool as it was to be a star, it pales in comparison to this. It's become so common that we forget that to be human, to exist, to be alive, to do this thing called consciousness, which is the biggest mystery that's ever been. Even what is that? Who is asking the question? Who is it that's looking out at me from behind your eyes? How do you think? When did you begin? If you look into your own eyes long enough, you'll see God looking back. So this is a quest that will go on. It's the beginning of a quest. It's not the end. 30 days is not the end. 30 years is not the end. But it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a quest where you're not only the explorer, but you're the magic land that you're exploring. You get to be both. Where all the mysteries of the universe are written on your very bones. To discover what you are would be the same as discovering what everything is. So yesterday when I said something about what yoga is, what we think it is, and yoga is just one name for a practice that was birthed in one place at one time, but it's not the only thing. It's a finger pointing at the moon of what I'm talking about. There are many fingers. Unfortunately, we tend to find our favorite fingers and we build temples to them, and we try to get t-shirts with the finger on it, and we glorify the finger, and then anybody that doesn't agree with our finger, we fight them to see which one of our fingers is better. The finger is there for one purpose. What is it pointing at? So these fingers are pointing at something. And it's fine to play with the finger and to find your favorite one and to explore it and discover it. But look not to it as the final destination, but in the hopes of discovering what it's pointing to. What it's pointing to. Because techniques change. The finger can change. If all of a sudden we discover that it'll be easier to find the moon if we move the finger from here to here, that doesn't change the glory of the moon. Does that make sense? So all of these practices are not a glory in and of themselves, but the glory of any of these are in the way that they possibly clear the vision so you can see yourself, so you can feel yourself. I want to play with you guys for the rest of the day, but they're going to make me leave. But it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. See, what can I do with you for the next 3 minutes that I have? Who's coming up next, Hal? I'm sorry? Okay. I'm going to show you something, just so you can play with it and annoy everybody that's coming after me. Make a little bit of space for yourself. I'm going to show this to you, and then I'm going to sneak out so that way they can't blame me for whatever happens after this. Watch. You're going to come to one of your legs out, so it's not Janu Shirshasana or any crazy yoga pose, just legs out, one knee bent, one leg straight. You're going to be soft. I have my left knee bent, so it's going to be my left fingers that come down. So it's a soft left hand. Nothing in the body moves in a straight line. Everything spirals. From the hand, there's a spiral that goes all the way up into the chest and back. So watch. I'm going to keep my eyes on the left hand. Watch me first. I'm going to bring my head down to my knee. The left heart is going to go into its cave. Don't worry, you'll learn all about that later. Heart's going to go into its cave, and I'm going to soften and bring my head close to my knee and onto my hand, almost as if I'm melting. I'm going to roll. Bring the knees and roll onto my back. And I'm going to reverse it. Head, hand, knee, stay together. Stretch through the leg and come up. And then back down. Head, knee, hand. Roll onto your back. Keep the head down until the last second. If you try, because what we do, we over-glorify our eyes. We want to know everything that's happening. We don't trust the wisdom of our bodies enough. So this is what might happen. When you go to come up, and you'll come back down. Head stays low. Head stays low until the last second. Try it. Yeah. There's other pandas. These are panda rolls. So there's other pandas around. So watch out with panda traffic. Try not to kick another panda in the head. Yeah. 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 And try to be soft. Roll. Think you're rolling and spiraling. Keep your head close to your knee. So when you bring your head down, bring the head down close to the knee. And when you go to come up, bring your head close to the knee and then come up. Head close to knee and then come up. Yeah. Don't worry, it happens all the time with panda rolls. Well, and get as soft as you can. How soft can you make your body? It is you that evokes hardness or softness from the ground. The ground isn't hard or soft in essence of itself. It's the way that you meet the ground that draws these qualities from it. Beautiful, guys. That's it. Try the other side. Make sure you try both sides. Soft. Melt into the floor. Soften your joints. So soften your knees also. So your knees are not locked. Yeah. One side may feel very different from the other side. Your panda may only be fluid on one side and a little bit stiffer panda on the other side. Oh, thank you. I just saw that message online. Thank you. It's beautiful to have you guys there. Who was that, Tao? What's the name? Almira? Almira. Beautiful, Almira. Thank you. There you go. Nice. Come on back. Come on back up. Don't worry, we'll play with this much more in the training. With these waves of riding that intelligence that's beneath your thoughts. Oh, and before I close, so Devin doesn't get mad at me later. Devin sends her love. Devin, in the trainings, she bounces in and out of being the bridge and the connection for the online people, and then she's also here live, so she comes in and out. She's much prettier to look at than I am, much prettier to listen to than I am as far as like her voice and her sense. Yeah. Oh, there she is. She's sending hearts. There she is. Cool. She's sending hearts. So she sends her love, and yeah, she didn't want to not come today. And it was funny. It's always kind of like this nervous. You heard her say yesterday that she was nervous, and I looked at her and I'm like, as soon as you meet them, you're going to see them, and then you're not going to want to leave them. And it's what happened. Like, she didn't want to leave yesterday. She's like, oh, I just want to be there with them. So it doesn't take a lot. If you really see yourself, you'll fall in love. And if you ever have someone that allows you to really see them, and it doesn't matter if you were mad at them before, It doesn't matter if you didn't like them. It doesn't mean that you're going to go and hang out and be best friends. But if for a moment you see someone truly, for one moment something happens and you really see them, that feeling of like, oh, I may still not like things, who cares? But my God, I love what you are. Because it's me. We're the same. All right, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Soften back. Soften into that deep place in yourself. Take a deeply felt breath. And one more deeply felt breath. Now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for playing. Thank you for just being here and being you. For saying yes to the call to adventure. Saying yes to the call out of the ordinary world. We'll talk more soon. Thank you guys.